Good day, YouTubers. I thought that while this is all happening, I've been looking back through my photography, and especially my street photography, and I'd forgotten what I took in the past, the pictures and the things I'd done or did. So I'm going to show a photo and I'm going to say a few things about it. And it is, I would say, my all-time favourite photograph. It was taken, must be about 5 years ago. It was the naked bike ride in London, and this huge procession of naked people, men and women, were riding by on their push bikes. And I mean, how it happened, I mean, it was a good moment, free moment of expression. Huge crowds at the side of the road. I couldn't quite get near the edge to get some various pictures, and I heard this crash, and I was right near the edge of the road, but there was crowds in front of me. So I saw this guy had fallen off his bike. I mean, he's naked and he's come crashing to a halt on tarmac. I think, oh God. So I ran to the middle of the road and stood on the island. You can see the number 14 there, and I stood there, and he got up. So I got my camera. It was a Leica M2 fully manual rangefinder camera. It was a 35mm Voigtlander, f1.4 I think it is. Don't have it anymore. And I just portrait. I'd already roughly zone focused. I just adjusted the rangefinder a little bit. The exposure was set for the lighting at the time, whatever it was, 2/50th of a second, f5.6. It was quite an overcast day, and there's a clunk like that. And I saw the taxi at the time, and I thought, yeah, you know, London taxi, that's going to work. That will show that it's in London. And clunk like that. And this was taken on film. Now this was what was this? FP4. 125 ISO. And I went back eventually to into my darkroom, and I developed all the film, and I only took 2 pictures, and this was one of them. On my entire 3-day trip to London, I just took 2 photos, and I developed it. Got the negatives out, hung it up. You know, they're still wet, so you're very careful, but you hold it up to the light and you're like looking. And I saw the thing, and I thought, oh yeah, it's come out nice and sharp, right? Yeah. Hung them up to dry. Next day, cut them into 6 negatives, scanned them, and I couldn't believe it. Now I show this photo to people every now and again on my phone, and they look at it and they go, oh yeah, look, there's a naked guy on a bike, and oh, a taxi. And it takes them a while for their eye to be drawn to the top left of the screen. There's a bus with an advertising hoarding on it. And this woman wearing a hat, she's shocked. And I realised that he's sort of glancing in that direction. He probably hasn't noticed the bus, but he's glancing that way. Or he's not. He's probably looking down actually, because he's about to get back on his bike. I'm lucky I didn't get it while he was swinging his leg over. Oh no. So I realised, wow. There's an inanimate object on the side of a bus that has come along at exactly the right time, and she's like, oh, my God, naked guy on a bike, put some clothes back on. So for me, this is an absolute top example, even though I took it and, you know, I'm blowing my own trumpet, but for me this is the top example of what street photography is all about. You have something unusual in the foreground, you have a reaction with an inanimate object. Street photographers love a relationship between inanimate objects and people. You know, it could be a sign saying idiot and an arrow pointing, and then there's someone stood under it, that sort of thing. But it's geographically placed because it has the London taxi, and you have the 3 elements. You have the guy on the bike, the London taxi, and the bus. with the shot woman on the side of it. Without a doubt, my absolute favourite photo that I've ever taken. And the second one, I'll probably do 2 of these at a time, you know, in each video. The second one, this was in Chester, and I was reviewing a Leica camera. It was a limited edition, a £12,000 camera and lens, the Leica M60, which was the prototype forerunner, or limited edition, of the Leica MD262, which is the camera I have. And I was, I had, you know, Leica sent me this camera to review on the website. And as you do when you're reviewing cameras, if you're a street photographer, you go out and take photos. And I was just walking along, and I noticed the gates and that board. And this guy came walking along and stood there, and he spotted someone on the other side, and he is this cheery expression. I mean, straight after this, he went walking off, but he just spotted someone on the other side. I didn't look to see who they were, because you keep your eye, you keep focused on the subject. And yes, a complete unexpected accident, because I was actually in the process of about to take this picture. It's just gates and that, and this guy walks into the mix. Yeah. A Daily Mail reader. Yeah. I don't read newspapers. I don't have an affinity with well, I don't have an affinity with political parties or anything, because well, that's another story. I haven't voted for 25 years, but there are reasons for that which I'm not going to go into. Yeah, and nice jacket, a bit like my bike jacket with the huge pocket. There you are. But just a couple of points about the camera that I used for those photos in my previous video. The Leica MD262 and 28mm Elmarit f2.8 Mark III version with the sought after hood. I do like that hood. It even has a little cutout so you can see through it in the viewfinder. But a couple of points have been raised. One is the huge amount of vignetting, you know, the darkening in the corners of the photo. And, you know, is that post-processing or a peculiarity of the lens? It's post-processing. The basic JPEGs are superb. Well, they're raw files, they're DNGs, digital negatives. They are superb. But I like to experiment, and I was fiddling about in Lightroom when I was doing it, and I just came up with this look, and I see it and I think, oh yeah, I really like that, and I'll go with it. So yeah, nothing wrong with the camera. The other thing is the shutter sound on the photos which I put with each one. No, that's not a recording of the shutter sound of this camera. It's a stock wave sound file that I had of a mirrorless camera, and yeah, which sounds like that. The Leica MD is a lot quieter, and I'll put it near my microphone and you'll hear. It's quite nice actually. Hi. So there you have it. Right, I will be doing some cooking at some point. The cooking videos. To do a cooking video, it's quite an intense exercise. I mean, you see the finished result of me cooking away, but it's quite an intensive exercise, because not only am I cooking, I have to film as well, and it involves a lot of to and fro with the camera and so on. But I will be doing some cooking. It might not be some astronomical thing, as one viewer suggested. I think it was on Facebook. How about doing a what's in the cupboard, you know, what's in the pantry, larder kind of thing. So I could just look in the cupboard and think, right, I'll make something. So that's quite a good idea actually, because I mean otherwise I'd be sort of repeating what I've already done, like, you know, one pot casseroles with beer or wine in it. So yeah, I'll definitely do something like that. I'll do some more walking about videos. The weather has deteriorated a little bit, quite windy, and with my handheld vlogging camera, I haven't got a wind sock on the microphone yet, so yeah, it would be a lot of wind noise. So I'll wait for the wind to die down for that, and when I actually have a valid reason for being outside. There you are. I'll put a link to my street photography blog if you want to look at some photos and so on. There's also ebooks on the website. I did 3 ebooks back in 2015, which I'm quite proud of. They're free PDFs, so have a look at that. But yeah, there's hundreds of articles on my street photography blog, masses, hundreds, maybe thousands of photographs, going back to about 2012, something like that, 2013. Yeah. Alright, cheers for watching, and don't have nightmares, as old Nick Ross used to say on Crime Watch, and I'll see you next time. Cheers for now.